Good evening and welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News Home Version. I'm DLAKE for PREZ. Tonight, I'd like to talk about this animated short by Heliophant titled I Pet Goat 2. You can find it on YouTube. 7 minutes, a little over 7 minutes, and it's filled, layered with symbolism, icons, gods and devils. I've watched a few hours of analysis from other YouTube viewers, and they all pretty much just play the video, keep pausing it, telling you what they see. I like to take a step back. I'm not even going to play the video. Instead, I'm going to read to you from this book. It's chapter 6, Light and Illumination. Of all the contraries in nature, the opposites, light and darkness, are the most obvious. To the primitive mind, both light and darkness have a positive quality. Darkness has as much actuality to the primitive mind as does light. Some myths of primitive peoples represent light as being created out of the nature of darkness, but these are comparatively few. There are many experiences which are common to light, and which we are accustomed to associate with the word light. By means of light, all these things which constitute our visual world have existence to us. Even dangers are tangible, definite things in light, because they can be perceived. Their visual form depends upon light. When we open our eyes, light pours in, and with it comes vision and all those scenes, events, and circumstances which we associate with light. Conversely, when we close our eyes, or when the sun is veiled by clouds or by the curtain of night, darkness comes, and with darkness, all those things which we have known and which we have associated with light disappear. In darkness, there lurks terror for the unbridled imagination. Things can be conceived, but not perceived. In death, also, there is no objective vision, but only darkness. Thus, darkness symbolizes death and oblivion. In Egypt, darkness and light were not conceived alone as two different qualities, but as two different forces like poles of a magnet. We know that the god Ra was symbolized by the sun. In fact, the Egyptians referred in their psalms to the sun forcing its way through the billowing clouds of darkness of the night to emerge in the dawn, indicating that darkness was considered an inner opposition to the active forces in the book of Genesis. In the Old Testament, it said, "Let there be light." Then we are told that God divided light from darkness. This very definitely indicates that darkness and light were considered by ancient Hebrews as separate creations. It also indicates that light of day was considered a physical condition and was referred to in that sense. The greater light, with its mystical and allegorical significance, was not included in this reference, because later we are told that God said, "Let there be light in the firmaments of the heavens." And this referred to the stars and the moon, the lesser light. It concerned physical light, not a metaphor or an allegory. The symbolism of light and darkness in the moral sense does not definitely appear in the Bible until the New Testament, several centuries after the book of the Old Testament. There, darkness is made to represent concealment. Under cover of darkness, most crimes are committed. Consequently, darkness takes on the moral equivalent of evil. Conversely, light represents actions in the open, things frankly and honestly done, so light is symbolically associated with goodness and virtue. Then we are told that our eyes may be open and our vision may be good, and yet we may not see. However, the mystics of old had a far different conception of light. To them, it did not mean merely knowledge and learning. The mystics and Rosicrucians of today also distinguish between light and illumination. The distinction is a fine one, but worthy of our comprehension. Our eyes may be open and our vision good, and we may see things which we have never seen before. Consequently, we have knowledge of their existence. Yet having seen these things and knowing that they are there, they may seem without purpose to us. We are still puzzled, still in doubt about them, and therefore our visual experience has little value to us. For example, we may be shown a large and complicated piece of machinery or laboratory apparatus. Our vision of it is quite clear. We can describe what we see as well as the one who has pointed out the machinery to us, and yet it is still puzzling and confusing. We may therefore have perceptual light, an accumulation of facts, and yet remain very much mentally in the dark. Consequently, to the mystics, illumination means understanding. One may travel in light, thus one may be a searcher for knowledge, for new and strange facts, an unearther of information, a prober into tomes, and yet that is not sufficient. He must, with all his light, eventually attain illumination or comprehension in the Confessio Fraternitas, which was one of the earliest public works issued by the Rosicrucian order in the 17th century. There was a statement to the effect that the world must awaken out of its stupor and go further to meet the sun of the morning, which is the conclusion to the iPet Go 2. Certainly today, humanity is still greatly in need of understanding, even with all the light and knowledge which we have. In the Rosicrucian studies, it is said that illumination follows a period of meditation. This meditation is a deliberation upon the knowledge which the Rosicrucian student has acquired from the degrees of his study. Consequently, it proves that illumination is understanding, a something which must follow knowledge. One of the Rosicrucian degrees is known as the Illuminati. It means that at the time the student's consciousness, the various aspects of his consciousness, should be imbued with an understanding of that which he has studied. We therefore should make profound comprehension our goal in life, not just a greater fount of knowledge or a greater accumulation of external things and facts. Light to the mystic always means illumination. The Illuminati doesn't have to be a bad, evil thing. Acquire illumination.